Well, I think that really the general mission of Mass Audubon is to share our enthusiasm for nature with the public and trying to explain why it's so important to protect wildlife.
My name is Bob Wilbur. I'm the Director of Land Protection here at Mass Audubon. As an organization, our goal is protecting the nature of Massachusetts for people and wildlife. You see the very strong recognition of where people fit in that equation.
Between the coastal regions and the coastal plain, the hills, the valleys, the hilltops, Massachusetts has, frankly, one of the most diverse sets of landscapes and habitats that you'll find anywhere in North America. As a result, we have an incredible diversity of wildlife. If we want to preserve that diversity, then it's important to protect those different habitats. Mass Audubon today protects about 33,000 acres across the state of Massachusetts. We own 29,000, protect an additional 4,000 through conservation restrictions. That 29,000 makes us the largest private conservation landowner in the state.
Well, they're not making any more land. And right now our wildlife in Massachusetts and our open space is under threat and pressure from an expanding human population and expanding interest in residential development.
Climate change is something that is well documented at this point as a reality, and it will be for many generations. Land conservation can be one of the effective strategies to respond to that, to blunt the impacts of it. Large-scale forest conservation, for instance, can help in terms of enhancing carbon storage, the ability of nature to help sequester carbon. Some of the more intact landscapes are the places where nature will be able to sustain as the impacts of climate change become more pronounced. So we're focusing on some of those areas in particular to set those aside and make sure that they continue that ability to help sustain nature.
We're here at the Broad Meadowbrook Wildlife Sanctuary here in Worcester, Mass. This sanctuary is now 418 acres, right almost in the heart of the city of Worcester. If you flew over the city of Worcester, Broad Meadowbrook would really jump out at you. It's really an urban oasis. It's right there, and it's pretty amazing to have over 400 acres protected right within the city. You know, right on a city bus line. Folks can hop on the bus and come down right from downtown City Hall. There's no question this part of the city, especially in Worcester, has been rapidly developed over the last 20 years. So I really think if Mass Audubon hadn't stepped in and teamed up with other groups, the Neighborhood Association, the City of Worcester, the Greater Worcester Land Trust, this land would have been lost. We wouldn't have this really intact, incredible, ecological, special area that we now have.
Land conservation is one of the few activities that one can invest in that has such a clear connection to making the world a better place. And it is also one of the rare things that becomes only more significant as time goes on. As the rest of the landscape is further developed, the land that's been set aside today becomes that much more important.
You know, in this life, there are not many ways that you can leave a lasting benefit to future generations, and protecting land is one of them. Walking through a piece of land that you've had a hand in protecting, whether it's because you're a Mass Audubon staff person or a landowner or a donor that has made protection of a piece of land possible that wouldn't have been before. Whatever it is, there's nothing quite so satisfying as walking through a piece of land and looking at the trees around you and the wildlife that lives there and thinking, boy, if it weren't for the small role I played in this would not be here today, let alone a year from now, let alone 100 years from now.